Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Today is a new day, new day, new day. And I can see a new way, new way, new way. It's gonna be good, gonna be good, gonna be good. 'Cause everything is new today. Today's made of soft clay,
Soft clay, soft clay.
and I can shape it
My way, my way, my way.
It's gonna be good, gonna be good, gonna be good. 'Cause everything is new today.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in the heart of Las Cruces, where our vision is a world and loving partnership for the good of all. I'm Reverend Bonnie, the community spiritual leader here. And as usual, it's wonderful. The energy's great this morning. You guys are awake. This is wonderful. Yeah, they're good. They're good. So I want to welcome anyone who's visiting for the first time. We have visitor packets at both entrances if you'd like to pick one up after the service. And just requesting that your phones are on vibrate or off so that we don't have any sound interruptions. And a friendly reminder that we have a practitioner-led meditation before the Sunday celebration at 10:15 until 10:35. And it's a lovely time to center in and meditate in this space and bring up that energy for us before we start our service. Aside from our Sunday celebrations, we have a few things starting to happen around here. A few things did get canceled as well. But on Saturdays from 1 to 2, Ray Kleitz is teaching Tai Chi free to members of the center. So if you're a member here, you can join them right in this space over here and do Tai Chi on Saturdays from 1 to 2. Anyone is welcome. And then we have our spiritual circle discussion groups have started up. We started at a new day and time. We're talking together over Zoom or in person, Thursdays from 1:30 to 2:30. So if you would like the Zoom invite, check out the newsletter, the website, or call the office. Or you can show up here and I will be here with my computer and you can be in person. And we are excited to have another class starting up. It's our hybrid class, so both Zoom and in person, Power of Your Word, beginning Thursday, September 16th from 5:30 to 8:30. It's 8 weeks long. And this is an experiential course that teaches the fundamentals of prayer. You'll learn why life-affirming prayer is answered and how it's answered. And you'll learn how to pray effectively and become aware of how you might limit and interrupt your own prayers and how not to do that. So when you complete this class, you'll have new prayer tools to work with. It's being co-facilitated by our lovely new practitioner, Jennifer, and myself. Yay! So if you'd like to sign up for the class after the service, she'll be in the back on a table out there, and she can also answer any questions you might have about the class. And our bookstore, we're trying to keep it open and get it open more during our office hours, as well as before the Sunday service and after the Sunday service. So if you feel inclined to offer sacred service in this way through working at the bookstore, there's a lot of different things. You can learn to work behind the cash register or just help with getting the books in right places and keeping it clean. Please, Gretchen, wave. See Gretchen or myself, let the office know. She has stepped into the role of making sure that we're functioning. So we're grateful to our board member, Gretchen, for doing that. And then check out our website or pick up the monthly calendar to see what else is going on and to keep up with the latest updates here at the center. And at this time, I'd like to welcome our practitioner in service, Jennifer Kleitz.
Good day. Thank you, Reverend Bonnie. And of course, our lovely band. So what a wonderful, wonderful start. There I am. Okay. We at the Center for Spiritual Living believe in the power of prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. Please fill out a prayer request, which is found in the back of the chairs in the pocket. You can fill those out and place them in the God can, which is in the back of the sanctuary, or in one of the offering plates, which is at either entrance as you exit the sanctuary. You can also use the prayer request button, which is found on our website, or contact a practitioner who's are listed on the website with their phone numbers. Our prayer team, made up of practitioners and ministers from all of the New Thought centers in this area, will pray for you in regard to your request. In addition, should you have something you would like a quick prayer treatment for, after service, the practitioners wearing stoles, there's Geneva's here and Judy's here, will be happy to spend a few minutes with you at the end of service. And now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
In this moment, I am calm. Calm is this moment. Calm, calm, calm. This moment is what I am. In this moment, I am peace. Peace is this moment. Peace, peace, peace. This moment is what I am. In this moment, I am still. Still is this moment. Still, still, still. This moment is what I am.
I recognize that Mother, Father, God is in, through, and around this sacred space, this room, this energy that is that divine intelligence is truth and love and peace and tranquility. It is wisdom. It is everywhere present, all-knowing, all-powerful. And that energy which creates always everything that is seen and unseen releases and infuses us, everyone present here, with that divine energy of abundance and vitality and peace and understanding and compassion and love. And I know that that spiritual divine energy in this space right here, right now, is the power behind all the good that is happening, and the words that we will hear from our speaker, Yvette, from the music, all those who are receiving this energy and giving also this energy as it circulates in this room and goes out beyond. For this and so much more, I am grateful, and so it is. That's what I forgot. I remembered. I didn't forget. I remembered. The reading for today is from 7,000 Ways to Listen, which I know is very popular with many in this room. In the chapter Being Lost. At the top of the chapter, the moment we awaken to know what we are lost to realize, as Jung says, that the ego is not master in the house, then we have begun the journey, by Helen Luke. As Helen Luke points out, the journey truly begins when we lose possession of what we thought were answers and are left to accept that we are not in control. Anyone who has lived through loss and been shaken of their grip will admit that beyond every answer waits a larger question, and beyond every arrival waits an unforeseen beginning. Being lost on the inner plane can be understood as a disorientation that is necessary as we are thrust from what we think we know into the vibrant field of all we do not know.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
I think they picked the right song again, didn't they? It is my joy to introduce this morning Yvette Trujillo. She has been a passionate student of New Thought principles for over 20 years. She's a religious science practitioner and ministerial intern at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living, and we are so very grateful to have her share her minister's heart with us here today. Please welcome Yvette Trujillo.
I had to wait. I needed the moment. I had to look down because I wanted to have that moment of looking up and seeing all of your beautiful faces. I cannot express. I'm going to get teary-eyed. I was getting teary-eyed sitting there. I cannot express to you how excited I am to be with you here in person today. All of your beautiful faces that I've been talking to whenever I get the opportunity to come, now I get to see you. So thank you so much, Reverend Bonnie, for having me back. I feel so loved and cared for already. I'm just overflowing. You all have the most amazing community. The music is beautiful, like all the pieces and parts that come together are this beautiful foundation that I can feel. So I'm going to hold it together or not, because everything's okay. It doesn't really matter. I'm a journaler. I journal. I've been journaling since I was a little girl, and in fact, I remember my very first journal that my mom bought me. It was this burgundy red, little tiny book, kind of like muddled, so it looked like a really old book. You know the kind, right? And it had this little latch and a brass lock with teeny tiny little keys that would go in there. I loved it. And I discovered this love and actually this need to write down what was going on in my life, the struggles, the strains, like little wee, what are my struggles and strains? But to work things out with a pen or pencil in hand on paper and write it down. I fell in love with it when I was a little girl. And I've been journaling almost every day of my adult life. When I moved out of my childhood home and got to college and felt like I could really keep the stuff in the journal to myself, I just became a writer. I think that's the first time I've ever said that. I became a writer. And still, it was this process that helped me to get it, to understand it, to work it through. Now, several years ago, I was probably in my mid-30s. I was trying to remember something that happened. I don't have the best memory. And so it's very convenient that I've written everything down for all these years. So I thought, I have a gigantic, like seriously ridiculous-sized blue plastic bin of my journals. And then they're tucked in the bookcases, and they're stacked up on the side of my nightstand and next to my meditation chair. So they're everywhere. So I thought, okay, I'm going to I need to find out what happened. What was that thing? I don't remember what it was, but I just needed to know. So I thought, great, I'm going to go find, like, what was the period? What year was it? About when was it? So I started to dig through my journals, and then I started to flip through the pages and read what I was going through at the time. And I was mortified. I was mortified. Because what I found was that the things that I was writing about 5, 10 years before, and it was how struggling in the relationship and the work, and what's my passion, and I don't know, and I'm so mad at my whoever, were the same things I was still journaling about at that time. And I'd been a part of Science of Mind at that point for about 5 or 6 years. I thought, I have been in classes. I have been affirming and denying. I've been treating. I've been doing the work. Are you kidding me? I was so upset, and I thought, okay, number one, I will never again look through my old journal. That was just a mistake. But number two, and the harder and more painful and kind of depressing experience that I had was that I hadn't evolved at all. I hadn't, through all the work and all the trying and all the consternation and effort, I was the same. I thought I was different, but my journals told me otherwise. So we're going to talk a little bit about that evolution and what it looks like today. This month, as you know, if you've been following along, we are talking about pause for guidance. And oh my goodness, y'all, if you weren't here this morning for the meditation, Jennifer Kleitz did the most beautiful job of creating an amazing pause in which we can receive guidance. And it was a guided meditation, so we're walking through the forest, and we're doing the thing, and the light, and it was just beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer, for that. So this month we've been talking about that holy, beautiful pause, to listen to the guidance that is always available to us. So we've been moving around along the month, and today we're going to be talking about, the title of my talk today is Rested We Rise. So as you can imagine, the pause can be restful. I'm going to start out to bring us a little bit of Ernest Holmes' context, which is always so beautiful. And Ernest Holmes is the founder of religious science and wrote the Science of Mind textbook. And from that text, 387 is the page, if you want to pull out your Science of Mind. Page 387. And those of you that are watching this at home, you can just run over and grab it. And in this section, he's talking about our immortality, but it really fits beautifully here. He says, the spiral of life is upward. So here we're going. Evolution carries us forward, not backward. Eternal and progressive expansion is its law, and there are no breaks in its continuity. It seems to me, he says, that our evolution is the result of an unfolding consciousness of that which already is, and needs but to be realized to become a fact of everyday life. I love that, Ernest Holmes. When we started this conversation at the beginning of this month, Reverend Bonnie introduced us to the idea of our GPS, right? Like most of us, if not all of us, at least know about that global positioning system that helps to get you from here to there either on our phone, or it's built into your car if you're fancy and you got a new car, or you bought the thing that sits on top of the dash and that gets you from here to there. Before we used to have like Thomas guides, right? And maps that we would unfold and Sharpies or pens that we would kind of help to guide us to where we're going. Well, now we have these GPS tools to help us get from where we are to where we want to be. And Reverend Bonnie, in all of her clever genius, transitioned the global positioning system to our God partnering system. And that it's not something we put on our dash. It's not something that we look up on our phone. It's not out there. That God as us, gas, remember that, gas? God as us, within us, provides that connection to the eternal that knows exactly where we're going, right? We get to punch in, this is where I'd like to go. And then, yes, my beloved, we will get you there. And the beauty of that process is that when we punch direction and click on the direction, we let the GPS system guide us on our way. It tells us how to turn. Go left. Not this light, but the next one, turn right. It's getting very fancy. When it first told me that, it was like, wow, you're going to give me a one light preview. That's fantastic. But what Reverend Bonnie brought to us was to the place of realizing that the space between what is where we are and the vision that we have for our lives, the destination, that there is this sweet spot. And she said, and I love that I'm quoting you right now, that in this space, when we fully know our oneness, we will let what is be. And then instead of trying to fix it, we ask, what is my role here? What is it? Yeah, I might have typed that wrong. What is it? What is the part that I am to play in this situation? And yes, each time that we are able to do this, to know our oneness and to trust, we grow and we evolve. When we can lean into that trusting, we grow and we evolve. And Mark Nepo, in the reading that Jennifer shared with you today, what he was saying basically is, when you're on a new journey, all the old directions and the old maps with the Sharpie, that's not going to work. You're in a whole new world. You're going a whole new place. And we don't have those old maps to go off of. And so we have to learn. And we have to grow. And we have to change. We have to. So I want to continue that quote from Mark just a little bit further. From Mark. I say it like he's my buddy. Mark. He's so great. He continues to say, this is how, so we're talking about being lost. Let me do this. We're talking about being lost. This is how being lost can be a prelude to a deeper way. Because once we admit that we're not sure where life is taking us, then we are ripe for transformation. Then we are shapeable. When losing our way, we frequently retreat and withhold or take what we think is a safer path. This often complicates our confusion. Does anybody resonate with that? It complicates our confusion. I love him. He's great. I have a lot of love today. So here's the juicy piece that I'm giving you today. Once we admit that we are not sure, we admit there's a journey that happens up until the point of admitting when losing our way. That's a journey. That's where some of the juiciest stuff comes from. And that's what I want to talk about today, that space. That space before we admit. That space while we're in the middle of being lost. And I call this surrender, that we're moving towards surrender. So maybe when we're looking back at our lives, it might look like we evolved. I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and there's this beautiful straight line on a graph. Maybe if you're plotting the moments of transcendence and the moments where you have these ahas and you realize and you recognize, oh, yes, God, right? Then it might look like this. Otherwise, and maybe not for y'all, but for me, that is not what my graph looks like. It's like I have a moment and then I go and I get stuck in the roundabout and I'm not sure which one to take, so I'm just sitting there for a while and then I take the wrong one and I'm in the wrong neighborhood. It's not pretty. And it's not fun. It's not enjoyable to like be in that space of lost. And so it's a very circuitous journey. Right? Between pushing and pulling and making and forcing and resisting and then surrender. And then giving up on surrender and go, oh, wait, hold on. No. It's a very, very windy road. And I know for myself, I can get really frustrated with myself. As you heard at the beginning of this, I've been doing this work that we do here for over 20 years. So I think I know some things, and I do, right? I know some things, and yet I still find myself, I'm going to do it my way. I can get there faster. I've got this. So I still struggle, but here's the wonderful part, folks. God uses all of it. God isn't just in the pause to listen for guidance. God isn't just in the surrender. God is in all of it, because we know that God is all there is. And that God is everywhere. There's no spot where God is not, right? That's what we teach our kids. There's no spot where God is not. God's everywhere. So God has to be in that space of being lost, in that space of being frustrated. There's a song that came out years ago that I really love to think of when I know that I'm struggling, when I know that I'm not quite stepping into my surrendered higher evolved self. And y'all might know it. It's by Carrie Underwood. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. Right. Oh, so, yes. We might say spirit, take the wheel in our centers. Universe, it doesn't flow as well. So spirit, take the wheel. I love the message of that. Right? Like, take it from my hands, because I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go. Give me one more chance and save me from this road I'm on. And some of that language, right? It's not really our language. I don't need to be saved. I save myself in that beautiful union and connection with the divine, but I have to tap into it. I have to remember it. I have to allow it. It's not ever out there. It's not ever something that I learn as if it is infusing me or becoming a part of me at that moment. It is a revelation of the truth that always exists, that has always been there. And so I can tap into that. So when I say, Spirit, take the wheel, I'm allowing the genius of the universe that put the planets in orbit around the sun, that created a nebula, or heck, the sunsets that we get here every single night. The genius of the universe that created this The breathing, the blood flowing, the oxygenation, all the stuff that I don't know, that I don't even have to know. I can lean into that, and I can trust that. However, I'm going to take you on a journey of what I sometimes do. And I'll say we, so that I don't feel all by myself. And so just in case someone else resonates, you know that I'm bringing you into my heart and to share this with you. So one of the things that we can do is, sure, we can plug in our destination, but then we completely ignore, like we set our phone down, the volume's off, we're not listening, right? And as my dear, dear friend, Reverend Kamatara Johnson says, we kind of facilla manipulate what's happening. And it feels a little bit like white knuckling. I'm gonna get there. Don't need your help. Thanks. Not stopping for directions. You might know some people like that. Because we have an attachment to the vision that we've created. We have an idea of what we want. We created it. If we're working in these centers, ooh, you gotta build that vision. And build it till you feel it, right? So it's like the blue Mercedes-Benz with the white leather interior, convertible, with GPS in the car, whatever. I don't have a new car, so I don't know what the details are. No CD player. That's what I want. And so I know what I want. And yeah, sure, it feels great. It feels like freedom. It feels like I'm abundant and overflowing. But really what I want is that blue Mercedes-Benz that's convertible with white leather and all of the bells and whistles. And so I'm going to get me there. Thanks. Put my phone down. And we'll get somewhere. We're moving. We'll get somewhere. But where we get is limited by our ability to imagine what is possible. We are limited by our own thinking, by our own imagination, by our buy-in to race consciousness, right? That there's not enough. There's a pie of what's available, and I only get this much. Or our belief in our unworthiness. Or our belief in the only way that we can get there is through this path. So we can white knuckle it, and we can be in charge, but we're going to get to this little picture of what we want. Maybe not freedom. Joy, abundance that is overflowing, which are at the root of what it is that we are visioning for. Or we can boop, 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 plug in our desired destination, what we want, that vision, into our GPS, but then, we get out. Jesus, Spirit, take the wheel. And I get out and I sit in the back seat. And Spirit's going and taking out. Whoa! I think you're going too fast. Wait, why didn't you turn there? I think that was the right turn. You should have turned there. That was it. And I have these imaginary, my wife would say that I'm a professional at this, so I'm very familiar with this way of being. There's imaginary gas and brake pedal, right? And the dash becomes like my anchoring point as well as the little handle here. Oh, God. Oh, are you sure? Woo, that's yellow. Are you going to... So instead of really surrendering, really allowing and pausing for that guidance, we're still trying to control, but from the back seat. Or we can say, again, Spirit, take the wheel, and get out and let Spirit get in, and then you don't get in the car. Because you're too afraid. I'm too afraid. I need to know every step of the way because I just don't trust that we're going to get there. Or what's going to happen to me when we're on the road? And what if I need to stop at a rest area? Are you going to stop for me? What if I'm hungry? Here's the wheel. I'm just not going to get back in the car. And so we get stuck because we're afraid to move from our current location to our deeply desired destination. But when I'm tired enough, and when I'm frustrated enough, right, I'm lost, and I can admit it. Because I don't know the road that life is taking me on. I let go. And instead of directing, instead of white knuckling, in that space of surrender, I am able to ask, as Reverend Bonnie reminded us, what is mine to do here? Because this isn't it. This is the surrender. This is the pause for guidance. And again, God uses it all. And this piece, when we get to that surrender, it is essential. We need it because that holy pause for guidance, that's when we're resting. Right? We're not carrying it anymore. Feel your body. You just imagine you're driving, you're going to get yourself there, and then you say, you take this. You can feel your body rest. And just like you would experience in a really restful sleep, during that time, you're rejuvenated. You're healed. Anything that you might have strained or pulled while you were trying to make it happen now finds its way back to home. And from that renewed place, now we're ready to re-emerge into this beautiful new adventure and experience that we plugged into that GPS system. We are renewed and more alive and more alert and more awake, not by doing, but by letting go. I had an interesting experience last week. I have a funny little elbow thing. And when I was a kid, I used to get like, it felt like there was a hitch, and I could just force it out and it would pop, and I was like, oh, that's better. Well, I had something that felt like that last week, and I thought, oh, I haven't had that in a long time. Oh, that didn't work. And that little hitch began to hurt. And as I went through my day, it started to hurt more. And my range of motion got smaller. I was like, oh, 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 uh-oh. But I knew, something in me knew, that when I went to sleep that night, my body, that rest, would heal me. I just knew it. And sure enough, I woke up the next morning, I stretched, and then I remembered, it doesn't hurt. My body healed itself because I gave it rest. And I believed that it would happen. Why? Because I'd experienced it before. I had a memory that built upon my belief. And from that place of surrender, of relax, of sleep, of not trying to do, I was shapeable. I was transformable. And so that is the same thing that happens if you lift weights. If you lift weights to build muscle, you're not building muscle when you're in the process of lifting weights. Did you know that? You're actually building muscle when you rest. That's when the muscle grows. I didn't know that. I had to look it up. It's really fantastic the way that happens. But you can't just rest and grow muscle, which was what I was hoping for. You have to do the lifting and then rest and then continue that pattern. So I've been in a resting state and not so much. But our muscles need that time in order to grow. So we need that rest. We need that renewal. We need that relaxation. And just in the same way that we truly surrender to our God partnering system and trust that it's going to take us where we have stated we want to go from that place of feeling, what are the God qualities that I want to experience? It might not be a blue, did I say Mercedes, BMW, fancy car. But it'll give you what you're looking for. When we take that rest and when we surrender, we allow ourselves to be transformed and to be rejuvenated. And just like waking up to a brand new day, we're able to jump into that new magnificent place that we have declared and called for ourselves. So here's the invitation as we go through life. We are evolving. We are evolving. We are changing. Even though it may look like it did to me when I was reading through my journals, that nothing had changed. The truth of the matter is that I was different. And so as I walked into that similar experience, oh, wow, I'm dating the same person again. Holy cow, really? But the me that was dating that same person was a new me, was a different me, was an evolved me. So the circumstances looked like they were the same, but in truth, my engagement with it was different, and what I got out of it was different. And as I surrendered in that situation again, I grew, I evolved, I got stronger, I rested, I jumped into a new experience. And this is the spiral of our evolution, that there are certain circumstances that run through the spiral upward. Our work, our health, our bodies, our love life, our relationship with our families, whatever. Those are our tools for learning. God's very efficient that way. I'm not going to have to reinvent the wheel here. Let's just keep giving you the same thing because this is going to work. And when we engage with those things from a new place of being, from our transformed self, we have a new level of growing. And then we have a new experience of ourselves. It's not the same old thing when we see similar circumstances come our way. So my invitation is that we don't get discouraged, that we don't stop trying because it seems like we're getting nowhere. God uses it all, even if you don't get to the place of surrender. God uses it all. And we live in a universe that is for us. It is for us. It is for our higher good. It is for our joy. It is for us having that thing that we want in our heart. And so God's using it all. Don't lose heart. We can truly trust and relax into that God partnering system. So let Spirit take the wheel every once in a while. Because rested, we will rise. Namaste. And so I now invite our practitioners to surround the room. And I invite each of you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes or simply lower your gaze as we turn within. As we turn to that beautiful space within us where we know. Where we know and remember that the power and the presence of the Most High God is centered there. Not just there, though. That vibration and that power and presence is vibrating within every cell of my body. I know that to be true. I know that God, the thing that created the universe, that holds the planets in orbit around the sun, that is located in the marrow of my bones. I know it. Spending time in this space and with this beautiful community, being held and loved and appreciated, I absolutely know that in the universe I am loved and held and appreciated. And as I know this to be true for myself, that this is my experience, that God is that light and life that breathes me, that circulates my blood, that thinks my thoughts, even the ones that I call bad, that has me resist and fight and push and pull. That is God. And so as I know that to be true for myself and my experience, I know that to be true for everyone here present this morning and everyone who hears my voice right now. There is no time. Who hears my voice right now. And that we can lean into that truth, that power and presence of God that is everywhere present within every person, within every being, within every creation, that power and presence of the divine is flowing through it. And we are partners on this journey. And that in that oneness with each other and with God, that we are on an upward, evolving, transforming journey. And that there is no going back. We cannot go backward in a new landscape. And so I know from this place of realizing and recognizing the truth of who we are and the journey that we're taking and the way that it works, I absolutely know that there is perfection in the unfolding of everyone's journey, no matter what it looks like. And so knowing this to be true in the marrow of my bones and at the center of every cell in my body, I extend that vibration out beyond my body into this room, embracing everyone here and out into the world and through the camera, embracing everyone that is here with us. Knowing this to be true. And I give thanks. I give deep thanks for that knowing, for the ability to turn within, for the ability to remember the truth of who I am, for the ability to remember who each of these beautiful souls are. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for this knowing, for this ability to turn within. And so I surrender. I surrender to surrender. I surrender my word. I surrender my powerful word into the law, knowing that it is done, and it is done now. Thank you, God. And so it is.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us. I just remember, it's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not awake as I can be, but my seeing's better. I can see through the tears. I've been realizing that I bought this ticket and watching only half of the show. But there is scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who all know what I know. And it's good that it's so. It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, open your eyes and see Now we'd send every one of us here and now.
Well, I'm full. What an amazing, Marilyn picks the song that I first sang every Sunday at the Albuquerque Center, which is where she's now serving. The ties are amazing, and it's perfect. Yet again, thank you. She knows that's one of my favorites. Oh, but I've got this muffler on. There we go. So I am so grateful. I think we need to thank, I wanted to call her Reverend Yvette already. Yvette, one more time. She's got that minister soul, doesn't she? She's ready to go out of that chute. We're just waiting for her to complete all the bells and whistles that they require, and we already have you present. Thank you so much for coming down, and we've already signed her up for the next couple of months to show up once a month as well, so we're excited. Her family's down here in La Union, and we were praying for them through all this rain, and so she gets to come see us and her family, so it's wonderful. Thank you again for being willing to do that and sharing your message with us today. And again, thank you for the wonderful music. So normally at this time is when we pass around those lovely golden bowls in the back, but we will save them for you to drop your offerings and tithes in as you leave. And just know that we are a tithing community, and this month we are tithing to Desert Hope Apartments, which are affordable housing that is in a partnership that began in 2017 with the Mesilla Valley Housing Authority, the Mesilla Valley Community of Hope, and the City of Las Cruces. It's resulted in the transformation of a rundown building with 40 efficiency apartments. And this is a picture of hope and home for people experiencing chronic homelessness in Las Cruces. And the idea is that they move into there and eventually out into apartments of their own. So remember that 10% of everything that comes through is going to assist them this month. And I know that we are blessed, so just repeat after me. Divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And so it is. And so we can sing in our minds or through our masks, we are so blessed.
We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
Well, I certainly feel blessed this morning. It was wonderful to be able to have you see this amazing community that you've spoken to through the video camera a couple times. And thank you so much for being present. As usual, stay safe. Love each other as much as you can, but get permission for those hugs after the service. I'm going to invite you to stand and just hold your hands out as we sing our closing song.
I leave here in peace. I step out in love. I know everything I need is part of me, and I will not speak until I first think, is it kind and true and needed? Why
Is it kind and true?